All right, the time is now 2 p.m. Let's go ahead and get started. This is the State Expedited Accusations calendar in the State Court of Fulton County, Georgia. I am Judge Melanie Williams. This calendar is for those individuals who have been recently arrested, but the cases have already been formally accused and bound over to state court. All defendants, you have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to counsel at this proceeding. All participants, including defendants, this proceeding is being broadcast over the internet as a live stream. It is also being recorded. That means any member of the public can log on and watch this just as if we were in person. Those who receive a signature bond will be reset for the notice. Those who receive a surety or cash bond will be reset to state all purpose. Ms. Bridgewater, what is my reset date?
Your reset date, Your Honor, is November the 14th.
All right. So those who receive a surety or cash will be reset to state all purpose. At that time, your case can be revisited. All right. Have all members of the public defender's office had the opportunity to speak with their clients or any private attorneys?
Your Honor, actually, I was not able to interview the last person, Mr. Wright Cortez.
All right. Is Mr. Wright at courtroom 2? So Ms. Kim could perhaps do that interview?
Is Mr. Wright in here? No. Okay, go ahead and have a seat at the phone.
All right, Ms. Kim, if you give the jail a call. Ms. Abden, have you had the opportunity to speak to everyone that you need to speak with?
I'm missing one person, Your Honor. They need a Spanish interpreter, and they're at ACDC. It is number 2 on the calendar.
All right. Ms. Bridgewater, do you know if we'll have interpretation today?
I do not, but I'll find out for you in just a second.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bridgewater. I know I can always count on you.
Good afternoon, Judge. Miss Chance is going to log on shortly for the Spanish interpretation.
Okay. And is the person at courtroom 2, is that Ms. Abden's case?
Yes, it is, Judge. And then we have Ms. Kim on the phone with her client.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. All right. Who do we have at courtroom 2?
This is going to be position 3, Cisse. And good afternoon, Judge.
Good afternoon. It's good to see you, Mr. Cisse. I'm sorry, is it Miss Cisse? My apologies. I can hardly see. The screen is small. Your case is 23 CR 006825E. You're charged with simple battery in this case with the offense date of October the 31st. Do you understand your rights today?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. Mr. Howard, can I have the history?
First arrest, 17 years old, recommended.
Okay. Thank you. All right. Ms. Baker, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. I would like to start by noting the victim in this case is a teacher at Banneker High School. Her name is Ms. Monique Holloway. She stated that she's had prior problems with this particular individual being disrespectful in class, that on yesterday, she asked the defendant to leave her classroom due to disrespectful behavior. On the way to the door, the defendant shoved the teacher. Another member of the school had to get involved to restrain the defendant. In the process, the defendant knocked a drink over or spilled a drink, and the teacher slipped and fell. The teacher will be on Zoom today. Again, her name is Ms. Holloway. The state is requesting a signature bond through pretrial that the defendant stay away from Banneker High School. That address is 6015 Feldwood Road. No further contact with Monique Holloway. 48 hours of anger management, a curfew, and no drugs, weapons, etc. Thank you. And would ask that you sign for the victim at the appropriate time.
All right. I'm sounding now for Ms. Holloway. Is Ms. Holloway present and wishes to make a statement? I don't see anyone, Ms. Baker, with that name. Want to make sure. All right, we're going to assume that Ms. Holloway is not present. Ms. Abden, in light of the facts before me, I'm inclined to accept the state's recommendation in its entirety. Do you have objections or other evidence you'd like to put onto the record?
Yes, Your Honor. My client does deny the allegations as they're stated in the warrant. It's my understanding that this teacher has been verbally abusive towards my client and also pushed her. And so I do have an objection to the 48-hour anger management, Your Honor.
Oh, I'm sorry. Right. That I would do the 1-day anger awareness instead of the 48 hours.
All right, no objection to that, Your Honor. Since she's going through pretrial, that will be free. And I do have an objection also to stay away from the school. It's my understanding she's been suspended for 10 days and they need to hold a hearing to determine whether or not she can continue going there. And so I will ask that condition be that, that she would abide by whatever the school decides, if Your Honor was inclined to do that.
All right. I think that's reasonable. Defendant is going to receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial. She's going to take the 1-day anger awareness course, and she is to have no contact with Miss Holloway. The school will have to reassign her, as I am requiring no contact at this time. Additionally, she is to stay away from the high school consistent with her suspension. If the school determines that she can return to Banneker. Whatever Banneker determines will prevail in this case. Additionally, of course, she's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Miss Abden, she's going to need a co-signer. She's 17. Do you have the name of the co-signer?
Yes, it is Yama. And I believe she is on the line, Your Honor.
Yes, I am. The name is Meta Konate.
Can you put that in the chat for us? I know that we're going to need to be able to spell that.
Okay, let me see. Come help me here in the chat box. Where is the chat box? Okay, click on more. Oh, chat, right. Okay, there it is.
All right. Is there anything additional? Mr. Howard, you going to need any other information other than her mother's name?
Nope.
Judge,
Address in chat where she need to co-sign it. She need to have valid ID too.
All right. Make sure you have co-sign. Have ID, ma'am.
Yeah, I do.
I notified her. She has that, and she put her name in the chat.
Ms.
Judge,
Baker?
I do believe the victim is on the line now. If the court would entertain my request one more time to sound for her.
All right. Very quickly, as we have decided this case already. Miss Holloway, are you present?
Hi, I am present. I am out and about, which is why I didn't come off the microphone.
Okay, well, if you want to make a statement,
Yeah.
you do have to turn your camera on, raise your right hand.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me. I don't need to make a statement. I've said everything that I'm sorry. Let me turn my camera on.
Okay.
I didn't need to make any additional statements.
All right. Thank you. And of course, stay in touch with the victim I cannot speak today. The victim advocate at the solicitor's office who can give you further guidance. Okay. I'm not sentencing her today, so your statement is not critically important today. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right. Anything further from State or Defense as it pertains to this case?
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, thank you.
All right. Best of luck to you. And the curfew, I need to clarify it. Ms. Abden, is your client engaged in the after school work?
So I spoke with her about that. It sounds like she leaves for school at 7:30. She usually gets home around 4:30. And she recently applied for a job at Wingstop. And so that would be on the weekends from 5 p.m. to 12 a.m., Your Honor. And so I do ask that you allow her to potentially have this job if she is qualified for it.
5 p.m. to 12 a.m. at a Wingstop?
On the weekends, that's what she said.
Okay, during the school week, her curfew will be 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. unless she's going to school or work or, legal proceedings or doctors. And I guess that same curfew can apply. If she does get the job at Wingstop, I guess that will not be inconsistent. But it is my strong advice that you seek a position that does not have you out this late. All right.
And sorry, Your Honor, you said her curfew would be 9 to 6?
Unless she's going to work, school, or
she leaves for school at 7:30 a.m.
Right, 9 p.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning.
I'm
So
sorry.
she should still be able to go to work. School.
You're right. I apologize.
Okay.
Thank you.
Understood. All right. Best of luck to you. That concludes this case. Who do we have next?
Next case, Judge, she was actually not on the calendar. Ivana Gibson. And she's also a conflict, and we were
Oh.
not able to find a conflict attorney for today.
Was this case filed down? Because if it's not on the calendar, has it been accused, Mr. Walker?
It was just accused somehow. It did not make it to the list that was sent to me, but I did accuse it. I am prepared to go for it. It's just gonna be a signature bond recommendation.
Okay, Ms. Hardy, well, what can I have I need the case numbers for
I
Ms.
know. I'm sorry, Miss Bridgewater. It just
You see me, don't you?
We can't do anything until
it
Uh-uh.
wasn't on my list this morning. I promise.
let's come back to this case if you don't mind, so we can at least
That's
get the case
fine.
number and
It was
some information other than Mr. Walker would love for this person to have a signature bond. All right.
And who does secret in the
Position
back?
10, Jeffries.
Come and get up now while we sit.
And is interpretation on the line yet, Ms. Champion? No? Okay.
She's signing in now, Your Honor.
She's signing now. Okay, can Ms. Abden, where is the young lady? Can ACDC go into a breakout then with Ms. Abden so that Ms. Chancey, so Ms. Abden can interview her client? I don't know if that's gonna work, but we can try.
I don't know if someone is assisting.
Is anyone at ACDC?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh, good afternoon. Good to see you. All right. If we're gonna put your screen into a breakout, and if that person could come up to the screen, I think Ms. Abden can do her interview. All right. Who do we have at courtroom 2? I'm sorry, position 10.
No, this is actually going to be position 5, Dixon. Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. No, position 10, Jeffries.
Okay.
And we're ready for the breakout, Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Champion's gonna take care of that.
Thank you.
All right. Mr. Jeffries, your case is 23 CR 006823E. You're charged with simple battery family violence with the offense date of October the 3rd. Do you understand your rights today? All right, Mr. Hart, can I have that history, please?
24 total. Last arrest was in September, probation. Violation out of Clayton County. On probation for ag assault in Clayton. On probation in Fulton, identity fraud, forgery, and a fourth, obstruction. He had a lot of probation violations. 2016 failure to appear, 2014 parole violation. That's it.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you, Judge. The victim in this case is Tarshia Lane, TARSHEIA. It's my understanding that this incident occurred at the Kroger on Cascade Road. The victim is the defendant's wife. He previously pled guilty to simple battery family violence on the 26th of this month, involving the same September, involving the same victim. And part of the condition of his plea was that he have no further contact with her and stay away. And yet on the 3rd of October, he slapped her in the Kroger during an argument over a repair to one of his shoes. The victim is visually impaired, and she told the police officer she experienced some pain after being struck. From speaking with her, Judge, it appears that this is an ongoing problem with the family. They're married but do not live together. She's apparently staying with their daughter or her daughter at this time. She said she will try to be on Zoom. Based on his record, he actually has a voluntary manslaughter from some time ago. Makes me really uncomfortable, and I'm very concerned for the victim's safety. I would ask the court for a cash bond, drug and alcohol evaluation, that he stay away from whatever residence that she is residing at, that he have no further contact with her. I would ask, well, he's already under those conditions and was under those conditions when he committed this offense. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And I would ask the court sound for the victim, please. Thank you.
All right, and the last name was Lane. I'm sounding for Miss Lane, is that correct?
Yes,
That's correct.
All right, Miss Lane, if you are present and would like to make a statement, I'll need you to unmute your screen. I don't see anyone by that name. All right. I'm gonna assume Miss Lane is not present and move forward to Miss Kim. Miss Kim, please proceed.
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 60 years old, and um, he actually told me that they are divorced at this point. So she is now ex-wife. Your Honor, my client has no income as of now, even though he does have a part-time odd job income. It is not high enough. So he's qualified for public defender services, and our team will continuously represent him. So his financial situation is very difficult, and I don't think he can make any bonds. Your Honor, he has education up to 10th grade, and he also has a disability that prohibits him from getting a job. He has a hard time walking and using his neck. So we would like to request for signature on bond. And since if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond because of the past criminal history, we ask for maximum $1,000 good bond. Thank you.
All right, and before I move forward, I just want to sound one more time. Is Miss Lane present and wishes to make a statement? All right, I have sounded from Miss Lane twice. Defendant will receive a $5,000 surety bond. He is to have no contact with the alleged victim in this case and stay away from wherever she resides. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And as a reminder, he'll be reset to state all purpose on November the 14th, whereby aspects of this case can be revisited. Is there anything additional from the state or defense?
Thank you, Judge.
Just for the record, I still think it is very prejudicial to mention the capital crime here in the public. Thank you.
Understood, Ms. Kim, and I am inclined to agree. All right, let's move forward to the next case.
You're done. Position 15, Smith.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Smith. Your case is 23 CR 006829Y. You're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of October the 31st. You understand your rights?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Howard.
Smith, I got first arrest. Recommended was jail. He's 18 years of age.
Okay. All right. Whose case is this for the state? Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Dunlap. Please proceed. I didn't see you.
Thank you, Your Honor. So officers responded to a call regarding a fight in progress, domestic dispute. They met with the victim, who is defendant's grandfather, Harrison Randall. Defendant stated that his grandfather assaulted him by pushing him in the chest, and in defense, he sprayed him in the face with mace. Defendant then said he ran outside and Mr. Randall began beating him. Mr. Randall stated that there was a verbal argument, and then the defendant sprayed him with mace. He chased the defendant outside and he tripped, and Mr. Randall attempted to get the mace from him. The state is looking for a $1,500 surety bond, a stay away if his grandfather doesn't want him back at the address, which is 1695 Campbellton Road, Southwest. No further violent contact with the grandfather, Harrison Randall, and no guns, drugs, alcohols, or weapons. And we can sound for Mr. Randall if he's on.
All right, is Mr. Randall present or wishes to make a statement at this time? Okay, seeing none. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor, my client is 18 years old and she is still in high school, but because she understands that there's some challenges living with her grandfather. Her auntie, Miss Taisha White, is actually willing to co-sign her if necessary, even though she is recommended for signature on bond through jail. If she has to go through pretrial services, there is a co-signer who is auntie, and they have a plan to go to Augusta, Georgia, where she can get Job Corps to get her GED done over there. Even though we strongly prefer her to go to high school here in Georgia, here in Atlanta, Georgia. So we would like to request for signature on bond through jail, first of all. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give her signature on bond through jail, we ask for SOB through pretrial service. Thank you.
All right. Defendant will receive a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial per judge. Defendant will take the one-day anger awareness course and have no further violent contact with Harrison Randall. I am gonna require the stay away for now. Mr. Randall is not present. I don't want to, let's see. Okay, what we'll do is, defendant lives with, at this time, does live with the grandfather. I'm sorry, with Mr. Randall. Is that correct?
I
Can we
believe so.
clarify that, Ms. Kim?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Having not heard from Mr. Randall, what I'm gonna do is require that defendant stay away from that location. However, if information is obtained and Ms. Kim that he doesn't object to her returning, I can modify the order at that point. All right, but for now, defendant must stay away from that address, have no alcohol or weapons, and take the one-day anger awareness course. Is there anything additional?
I believe her auntie is online right now.
Yes, hi.
Okay, well, I'm only hearing from the victim today. So, because again, I'm not imposing any sentences. So I'm giving defendant a signature bond. If we want to clarify from the victim regarding her living there, then, we can do that. But I do appreciate you coming to court, but your statement is not relevant at this point, okay? All right.
Okay.
So, yes, I am going to impose a stay away at this time. Is there anything additional?
Who's the co-signer?
Is the aunt co-signing?
Yes, Your Honor. Taisha White.
Will you put your name into the chat, please,
Yes,
ma'am?
Your
Position number 13, Can.
All right, Ms. Howard, you need anything else? All right, that
But
concludes.
she need to have valid ID when she report. I'll put the address in the chat for her.
All right, thank you. That concludes that case. Best of luck to all parties. All right, your case is 23 CR 006833J. And you are Stephen Kahn, or is it Can?
It's Khan, yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Kahn. In this case, you're charged with criminal trespass and battery against a pregnant female. I'm sorry, with the offense date of October the 31st. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
15 total. Last arrest was in September for a suspended license. That's open out of Fayette County. Got an open case in Clayton County for battery DV, simple battery, family violence, cruelty to children. Had a 2022 ag battery that was dismissed, failed to appears from 2022, 2021, and the 2013 battery dismissed. That's it.
All right. All right, let's see, Ms. Baker, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The incident location for this is 4755 Yates, Yates Drive, apartment 5C. It's in South Fulton. The victim stated that the defendant, who's the father of her child and is also the father of the child she is expecting, arrived at her home and was pounding on the doorway, demanding to be let in. He previously had kicked her door in, so she opened it up to prevent damage to the doorway. Once he came inside, he took their child and left. She dialed 911. As soon as he realized she was calling 911, he came back into her home with the child and attempted to take her cell phone away from her. During the process of that, he pushed her down and pinned her against the wall. She's 6 months pregnant, and the responding officer noted that she did have visible bruising on her stomach as a result of this incident. Mr. Khan does not live at the location. Previously, they referenced an aggravated battery that was dismissed in Florida. That was actually an aggravated battery against a pregnant person. The state's requesting a surety bond that he stay away from 4755 Yates Drive, apartment 5C in South Fulton, that he have no further contact with Ms. Ingram, that a third party be involved with respect to any child visitation with the child that they have currently, anger management, and no drugs or weapons or alcohol. Would ask that the court sound for the victim, please. Thank you.
All right, I am sounding for Miss Ingram at this time. Is Miss Ingram present? All right, I don't see anyone with that name. Okay, Miss Kim, please proceed.
Yes, my client is 30 years old, Your Honor. He does have total of 2 minor children and also expecting another child, and they are 9 months old and 8 years old, and he's financially responsible for those 2. He is gainfully employed at Costco as a forklift driver. He's been working there for about a year, and he graduated from high school. He completed trade school, and he is providing financially for those, not only Miss Jade Ingram, but also other 2 children as well. Your Honor, he is does not live with the Jade Ingram, as ASG already told. We do have a good address at Covington, Georgia. He resides with his friend, and we have a phone number. He's not a flight risk. We would like to request for a signature on bond. And yet, if Your Honor is not inclined to give him a signature on bond, we ask for split bond, criminal trespass as a signature on bond, and battery for maximum $1,000 good bond. We have no objection to stay away and no further contact. Thanks.
All right, defendant is going to receive a $2,500 surety bond. 500 count 1, 2,000 count 2. He's to have no contact with Miss Ingram. He can arrange for transport of the children through a third party. Additionally, he is to stay away from that location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nope, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Mr. Khan. That concludes your case at this time. Who do we have next?
Position 11, Jewel.
All right. Good afternoon. Are you Dewan Jewel? I believe so.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your case is 23 CR 006831G. You're charged with battery. You understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
14 total. Last arrest was in January. Unlawful acts of liquor, alcohol, unlawful act, malt, brew beverage. This is out of Philly. Appear to have an open case out of Alabama. It says doing business without a license. Open case in Fulton. Cruelty in the third, 2 counts. Battery DV. Possession of a firearm by a convicted felon. Expired license. 22 SC 182315. On a couple of probations for robbery by sudden snatch. You want the case numbers or you good?
No, that's fine.
All right.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Baker.
Thank you, Judge. This incident occurred yesterday at 185 Central Avenue, so somewhere within the courthouse complex. Apparently, the defendant got into an argument with Kendius, Kendius Howard, and struck him with a closed fist. The Fulton County Sheriff's Department arrested him and noted that the victim had severe swelling to his right eye and lip and a bloody nose. We're asking for a bond through pretrial, stay away from the courthouse unless he's here for a legal proceeding, no further contact with Mr. Howard, anger management, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol, please. And sound for the victim if he's present.
All right. I'm sounding for Kendius Howard. All right. Hearing and seeing none. Miss Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 30 years old, and he has 6 minor children, and he resides with them. They're from like 11 months to 9 years old. He's gainfully employed at IKEA as a delivery and installer. He's been working there for 8 years continuously. Your Honor, we would like to request for signature on bond through jail if possible. If not, we have no objection to signature on bond through pretrial either. And no further contact, stay away. We have no objection, Your Honor. Thanks.
All right, defendant's gonna receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with Ms. Howard. Mr. Howard, and stay away from the Fulton County Courthouse unless he has official business. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything for it?
Was it signature on bond or?
It's a surety bond.
Oh, but he's recommended for signature on bond through pretrial, Your Honor.
I understand, but that $1,000 surety will still stand.
Okay.
All
Thank
right. Understood. I appreciate your advocacy, Ms. Kim. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 16, Ward.
Your Honor, we're actually going to need a breakout room for this case.
We'll put this
Me,
case for last.
Okay. Oh, I know that there was requested for positions 1, 4. What other positions are we requesting breakouts for?
16 Ward.
Is
And
that the
what-
only other one?
No,
I'm on Cena's iPad.
No, not yet. Thank you. Okay. We're requesting breakouts for positions 1, 4, 16, and any other positions?
Mr. Watt, WATT. I'm trying to find that.
So
Position.
1, 4, 16, and 17?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any other positions? Okay, can we take these at the end so we can do the breakouts all at once? Is there someone else we can take? Is Ms. Abden back?
Yes, I was requesting that the same, Judge, so we're good. We're on the same page. Go ahead and have a seat in the second row for me, Ward. We're gonna do your case last.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
18, Mr. Wright.
All right, good afternoon. Oh,
No.
Mr. Wright.
Green chair.
All right, Mr. Wright, your case is 23 CR 006832A. You're charged with obstruction and giving false information. Do you understand your rights today?
Yeah,
Is that a yes?
yeah, yes.
Okay, yes, not yes. All right, Mr. Howard, can I please have the history?
6 total. Last arrest was in August for trespass. That's open in state court. 2017 shoplifting conviction. 2013 theft by taking. That's it.
Okay. Ms. Dunlap, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. So officers responded to a call at the Fulton County Dogwood Library regarding a disruptive person. A library employee stated that the defendant had a ban for his past behavior. Officers walked the defendant to the entrance of the library. Upon being asked for his name, he gave a different name and date of birth several times. He continued to give various date of births and false names. He did state to officers he didn't have any mental health issues. Once he was transported to jail, he gave his correct name and was fingerprinted. The state is asking for a signature bond through the jail. No guns, drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
All right, Ms. Kim, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to grant that SOB through the jail and stay away from the library. Is there anything additional objections you'd like to place or anything else you want to put onto the record?
No, Your Honor, nothing further.
All right, defendant will receive a $5,000 SOB through the jail, $2,500 each count. He's to stay away from that library location and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that signature bond through the jail. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Are you gonna tell when I get out?
I didn't hear the question. What was the question?
He was just asking, when is he getting out? I've already expressed that.
Okay, thank you for explaining that.
You're welcome. Position 5, Dixon.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Dixon. Your case is 23 CR 006830C. You're charged with criminal trespass, public drunkenness, fare evasion, and simple assault with the offense date of October the 31st. You understand your rights?
Yes, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I please have a history?
This is Dixon, right?
Yes, collision 5.
59 total. I think I counted like 19 arrests this year alone. They got a lot of PI charges. Failure to appear from this year, shoplifting, more PI charges, trespass. Yeah, that's about it, Judge. But yeah, I counted about 19 arrests. State, you can back me up if you saw it too, but that's what I counted.
All right, thank you.
Thank
Ms.
you.
Baker, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. This incident occurred yesterday. The defendant boarded a bus, refused to pay the fare. He still has an active trespass warning with MARTA. Officer Hussey arrived and spoke with the defendant. It was obvious the defendant was impaired. Some chaos ensued, and he threw a beer can at the officer, which resulted in the simple assault charge. The state's requesting a signature bond through pretrial services that he stay away from all MARTA premises and property, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Ms. Kim?
We have no objection, Your Honor. He is residentially challenged. I requested social worker services. So other than that, Your Honor, we are fine with the signature on by through pretrial services.
Has he been interviewed by PAD? Is that or is he going to be considered, Ms. Kim?
He
Well,
wasn't considered due to the violent allegation of assaulting the officer.
Okay. Understood. Thank you, Mr. Walker. I'm not sure that I'm inclined to give the SOB through pretrial. What was the most recent last arrest? I know it was 19 and you saw a lot of PI. Mr. Howard, what was the last date?
Last arrest was October 21st.
All right. Against my better judgment, defendant will receive a $4,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. He is to stay away. I guess is he permanently banned from MARTA?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so he
I
must
thought he was
comply.
home.
Right, if he's home, that's gonna be a problem. He can't go through pretrial. Does he have a stable address, Ms. Kim?
No, he doesn't, Your Honor.
So he can't really go through pretrial. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make it a $4,000 SOB through the jail, but I'm gonna require he undergo the BHET first to connect him with resources prior to his release. He's to comply with all active MARTA suspensions or permanent bans, and he is to have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Is there anything additional?
No,
Thank you,
nothing.
Judge.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right.
What is your breakdown?
I'm sorry, 1,000 each count.
Oh.
I'm getting out.
All right. Yes, you are. Best of luck to you, sir.
Position 7, Grant.
Okay, let's see.
That will be PD Abden.
Oh, and Miss Abden is in back. Is there any other case that we can take?
We can do waiver of appearance, Mr. Jones.
Are we ready for Miss Ivana Gibson?
Is that Miss Kim's case or is that Miss? Oh, there's no conflict attorney, so we can do that one.
Okay.
And Mr. Walker, I'm hoping you have the history.
Yes, it's minimal, just traffic.
Okay, Miss Gibson, your case is 23 CR 006838. And I don't have the letter. What's the leading letter? G. You're charged with battery family violence in this case. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Can I have the Mr. Howard, you do have the history?
For I. Gibson?
Yes.
She was on the pull sheet. I don't know why she wasn't on the cover. Fourth arrest, Last was 2012, suspended license out of DeKalb County. 2012 shoplifting dismissed. She was recommended level 1.
All right, thank you.
So,
Ms. Walker.
yes, Your Honor. In this case, the victim, whose name is Teddy Kyles, Kyles, came into the police precinct, advised that him and his living girlfriend were walking down Peachtree Street. They were engaged in some type of verbal disagreement, at which time she struck him in the mouth, resulting him to bleed from his mouth. The officer did observe that visible injury. At that time, warrants were taken out for the defendant's arrest. I will note that this incident happened back in April, I believe. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial services, anger awareness, no contact with the victim, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol while out on bond.
All right, I'm gonna sound for Mr. Kyles. Mr. Kyles, are you present? And wish to make a statement at this time? Okay, hearing none. Ms. Gibson, normally you would have a right to an attorney and actually do, but the public defender's office is conflicted out of assisting you today. I am going to give you a signature bond. Had I not given you that, you would have been reset tomorrow in the hopes of that a conflict attorney could appear. Defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through pretrial. She is to take the 1-day anger awareness course, have no contact with the alleged victim, and stay away from that incident location, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Anything additional, Mr. Walker?
Nothing from the state, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, Ms. Gibson. That concludes your case.
Thank you. Position 7, Grant.
How you doing today?
All right.
That's
Um,
the Atkins case, Your Honor.
Oh, that's Ms. Abdens.
Yeah, we can do Section 12 Jones waiver of appearance.
Is that your last case, Ms. Kim?
No, I do have 3 more, Your Honor.
Let's take whoever is there rather than the waiver so we can let courtroom 2 go sooner than later.
Sure.
Who else do you have, Ms. Kim?
14, 16, and what?
Can we do 14? Because that one is not a breakout requested. Is Diamond Ross present? Can we do that one? Or that's ACDC?
Yeah, all the females are at ACDC, Judge.
Your Honor.
Okay, so I guess we don't have a choice but to do position 12, the wave case. All right, so we will take position 12, Monique Jones, 23 CR 006827Y, in which the defendant is charged with criminal trespass and damage to property. Ms. Jones has waived her appearance. Mr. Howard, can I have history?
4th arrest. Last arrest was October 28th, according to the GCIC for trespass. That's 23 CR 006776Y. 2019 failure to appear, trespass. Simple assault, criminal damage to property. That's it.
Thank you. Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. The victims in this case are Merida, Merida, and Daryl Gatson, Gadson. They don't know Ms. Jones. The gentleman was driving his wife's car. He stopped for a stop sign at Pratt Street. Heard a loud boom and looked over and saw the defendant with a brick in her hand. She smashed out the windshield of his wife's car. He got out and stopped her, and some other bystanders were restraining her when the police arrived. We're requesting a signature bond through the jail, please. And no further contact with the victims, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and the victim will not be on Zoom. Also stay away from Pratt Street. Thank you.
Okay. Are either the victims present on the Zoom conference, just to make sure? Mr. or Mrs. Gatson? I'm sorry, when was last arrest again, Mr. Howard? I know I'm repeating a lot today.
October 28th.
Okay. Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. We have no objection to SOB jail, Your Honor.
All right, I'm not inclined to do that at this point, Ms. Kim. So I'd like to hear about the defendant.
Sure. My client is 48 years old. She's been here in Georgia ever since 2010, about 13 years. She's not employed as of now. She does have an associate degree However, because of her unemployment, she's qualified for public defender services, Your Honor. And she does not have she's residentially challenged, so we are actually requesting for social worker to have a visit with her to make sure that she gets resources. That's it, Your Honor. Thanks.
Are there concerns for MH?
It is possible, and yet we can have a BHET done as of now, Your Honor.
Please, Judge. That was
I'm
gonna
sorry,
be
Miss.
my next,
I'm sorry, go ahead. That was your question as well?
that
We
was
need,
gonna be my next request. Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
okay, we're gonna go ahead. We can't go into the breakout, Ms. Abden's here. We're gonna hold that one for a moment. I have questions for counsel in breakout as it pertains to Ms. Jones. So when we go into the breakout, I'll rule on position 12 as well. All right?
Thank you.
All right. Are there other case, there's no other case we can take up? I guess not. Miss Kim is complete. ACDC is gone. Miss Abden is in the breakout. If I had thought Miss Abden had called, perhaps. All right. Well, we'll be on a very brief hold until Miss Abden returns. Thank you.
Thank you.
We are in the breakout session, Attorney Abden.
I'm back and ready, Your Honor.
They are in the breakout session of this year.
All right, thank you. We're all back. Can we take the interpretation case first? All right, good afternoon, Ms. Chansey. Please raise your right hand and state your name for the record.
My name is Adriana Chansey.
All right, Ms. Chansey, do you swear and affirm that today you will make an accurate translation from English to Spanish, Spanish to English to the best of your skills, knowledge, and ability?
I do, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Good afternoon. Are you Amal Barbosa?
Buenas tardes, ¿es usted Amal Barbosa?
Sí.
Yes.
Your case is 23 CR 006824E.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Your Honor.
I'll say it again. 23 CR 06. I'm sorry, 006824E.
Su número de caso es 23R006824E. Thank you.
In this case, you're charged with battery family violence.
En este caso, usted tiene un cargo de golpes y lesiones, violencia familiar.
With the offense date of October the 30th.
Y el día del incidente fue el 30 de octubre.
You have an absolute right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you.
Usted tiene el derecho a guardar silencio. Todo lo que diga puede y va a usarse en su contra.
You have a right to an attorney, and Ms. Abden is here today to represent you.
Usted tiene derecho a tener un abogado y la señorita Abdan está aquí para representarla.
I'm conducting this hearing over the internet as a live stream.
Yo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia en la internet en vivo.
It's also being recorded.
También está siendo grabada.
That means any member of the public can log on and watch this proceeding.
Quiere decir que cualquier miembro del público puede entrar en la plataforma y observar esto. Your Honor, could I have a second? I'm sorry, I'm about to start coughing. I'm so sorry. 1 second.
Feel free to cough, Ms. Chansey.
Sorry about that. Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you understand your rights and how I'm conducting this hearing today?
¿Entiende usted esos derechos y cómo estoy conduciendo esta audiencia? Yes.
All right. Mr. Howard, can I have her history, please?
Por favor, ¿puedo tener los antecedentes, señor Howard?
Second arrest. Well, second cycle. March 2021. It was something with ICE. It says for a person of interest, not arrested by a U.S. agency. And jail was a recommendation.
Okay, thank you.
Este es el segundo ciclo, o sea, segundo arresto. La anterior fue en marzo del 2021 con inmigración. Es algo con interés personal y no fue con la oficina federal formal.
All right. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. Law enforcement was dispatched to 2520 Jonesboro Road.
La policía fue enviada al 2520 de Jonesboro Road, Southeast.
Officers spoke with the victim, a Mr. Carlos Arevalo.
Los oficiales hablaron con la víctima, el señor Carlos Arevalo.
He stated that the mother of his 2 children, with who he has lived at this location for months, the defendant assaulted him.
Dijo que la madre de sus 2 hijos, quien había vivido por un par de meses con él, lo agredió.
He said the assault happened when he came home and took the cell phone charger out of the wall.
Él dijo que eso había sucedido cuando llegó a la casa y trató de sacar el cargador que estaba enchufado en la pared.
The defendant got upset and told him to put the charger back, which he refused.
La acusada se enojó y le dijo que lo pusiera de vuelta donde estaba y él lo rechazó.
He told her to use the charger that's in his truck outside, and she got angry.
Él ya le dijo que usara el cargador de la camioneta y se enojó.
The defendant lunged at him and tried to snatch the charger from his hand, at which point he pushed her away.
La acusada se lanzó ante él y trató de sacarle el cargador cuando él entonces la empujó para sacársela de encima.
After pushing her away, she began assaulting him with her hands.
Después de hacer esto, ella comenzó a golpearlo con las manos.
He left multiple scratch marks on the right and left side of his neck and his face.
Ella dejó rasguños en el lado izquierdo de la cara y del cuello.
She also caused a small knot on his head behind his right eye, I'm sorry.
También le dejó un nódulo al lado del ojo derecho.
The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial.
La fiscalía está pidiendo una fianza a través de los servicios previos al juicio bajo firma.
No further contact with Carlos Arevalo.
No tener más contacto alguno con Carlos Arevalo.
A stay away from 2520 Jonesboro Road Southeast.
Que se mantenga distanciada de la dirección 2520 Jonesboro Road Southeast.
A family violence intervention program.
También que que participe en un programa alterno de violencia familiar.
And no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Y que dé prohibida el uso de armas, drogas y alcohol.
And we can sound for the victim if he is here.
Y podemos llamar a la víctima si está. Señor Carlos Arevalo Martínez, ¿está presente? Por favor, prenda su micrófono.
All right. Ms. Chancey, will you sound one more time?
Carlos Arevalo Martínez, si está presente, por favor, prenda su cámara y su micrófono.
All right. I do not believe the alleged victim is present. Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. So my client is 21 years old. She's been living in Georgia for 6 months.
Mi cliente, su señoría, tiene 21 años y ha vivido en Georgia por 6 meses.
She moved here from Venezuela with the complaining witness, who is the father. Go ahead.
Ella se mudó aquí de Venezuela con el testigo que hace la demanda.
And he's the father of one of her 2 children.
Él es el padre de uno de sus hijos.
She has a 2-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Ella tiene un niño de 2 y otro de 3 años.
She's a stay-at-home mom.
Ella cuida a la familia en la casa.
The complaining witness works, and there would be nobody else to care for the children.
El demandante trabaja todo el día y no habría nadie que cuide a los niños.
In the breakout room, we did have a chance to speak with the complaining witness.
En la otra sala virtual tuvimos la oportunidad de hablar con el señor, el demandante.
He did state that he is in fear of my client.
Él dijo que le temía a mi cliente.
And my client does deny the allegations and stated that they've had prior instances of violence where he's been the aggressor.
Y mi cliente niega los alegatos porque han habido instancias en las que ella ha recibido violencia del agresor.
I contacted our social workers, and I'm hoping that somebody can connect with her to provide her with housing assistance if the court is inclined to grant the stay away and no further contact.
Yo hablé con las trabajadoras sociales y estoy esperando que me contesten para tratar de darle una vivienda a mi cliente si la jueza decide ordenar no tener más contacto o distanciarse de la casa.
My main concern, Your Honor, are the children, and who will care for them. And so, since he's not here today, I understand that granting no further violent contact will not be an option.
Mi preocupación son los niños, quién cuidará de ellos, y el hecho de que él no esté presente aquí, o sea, no tiene sentido que se le ordene no tener más contacto con él.
And so, I am requesting a signature bond through the jail, Your Honor. She does not work. She doesn't have any means to pay a bond. And also, I think given the circumstances around her housing right now, I don't know if it would be easy for her or possible for her to report through pretrial.
All right. Defendant will. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Ms. Chancy.
I'm sorry.
Yo quisiera, por favor, solicitar una fianza bajo firma a través de la cárcel. A través de la cárcel, ya que ella no trabaja, no tiene los medios para pagar una fianza y de acuerdo a las circunstancias en que están en la casa, eso no sería posible para ella.
Before the judge, I'm telling you, that when you get up, you're gonna be in this chair. As of right now, stay put.
Everything okay at ACDC?
I'm so sorry, Your Honor. Forgive me.
It's okay. No, it's okay. Everything okay?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Your Honor, if I may. The victim advocate did speak to the victim, and he did state that that she's been physically abusive towards him since they've been in Venezuela. And he said that he does want no contact. He wants her to stay away, and he wants her to have a one-time police escort to get her things, as well as
That's consistent with what Ms. Abden said.
Okay.
La defensora de víctima habló con el señor y dijo que sí, que ella había sido abusiva físicamente desde que están juntos en Venezuela y que no quería contacto, que se mantuviese distanciado y que tuviese la posibilidad de un día para ir a retirar sus cosas.
All right, understood. All right, defendant will receive a $5,000 signature bond through the jail. She is to have no contact with the alleged victim and stay away from that location. She can arrange transport of the children through a third party. Let Ms. Chancey catch up.
Thank you. Ella se le otorgó una fianza de $5,000 bajo firma a través de la cárcel, no puede tener más contacto con la víctima y debe mantenerse alejada de la residencia. Para la visita con los niños tendrá el uso de una tercera persona que los transporte.
All right. Additionally, I did say the third party transport. She is to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
Y queda prohibido el uso de drogas, alcohol y armas.
Is there anything additional from either Ms. Dunlap or Ms. Abden?
¿Algo más de ambas partes?
Nothing from the defense, Your Honor. Thank you.
Nada de la defensa, gracias.
All right. Best of luck to you. That concludes your case.
Esto termina hoy su sesión.
Miss Jones, come on.
Gracias.
On you. Come on.
All right, Ms. Chancey,
Okay.
before you depart, will you please sound?
Yes. Buenas tardes. ¿Hay alguien que necesite la ayuda de un intérprete para hablar con la señora jueza? Por favor, avísenos. prenda su micrófono, su cámara.
All right, Ms. Chancey, with that, thank you.
You're
Take care.
welcome,
Have a
Your
great
Honor.
afternoon.
You too, ma'am.
Thank
Okay.
you.
All right.
You're
bye-bye.
welcome.
Judge, I'm sorry, what position was that for the bond amount?
That was 2,000, I'm sorry, position 2, 5,000.
Position two.
SOB through the jail.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, who do we have next?
Next, we have position number 12, Monique Jones.
We waived Miss Jones, but is Miss Jones there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Oh,
Have a seat.
we've done Miss Jones's case.
Okay.
Let's see, Miss Kim, were you aware they were bringing Miss Jones today?
Oh, I thought she was gonna be waived, but
Was
We're
not
gonna-
told.
That's okay. We talked about Miss Jones. We'll come back to her. I have it. We have some questions we're going to address in the breakout in a moment.
Your Honor, may I do position 14 and then may I please leave because please,
Yes,
Your Honor, come on.
because 12 has waived their appearance. So I believe we're fine with that. All right. Good afternoon, Miss Ross. Your case is 23 CR 006826B, and what you're charged with criminal trespass. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
All right, Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
Fifth arrest, 2022 failure to appear, 2019 resisting an officer, 2017 shoplifting, 2014 simple battery. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Yeah. So officers responded to a call at 140 Pine Street. That is the Bug Jettle, and it's also
Budgeted
thank you. Also referred to as Savannah Suites. The security guard, Mr. Demetrius Robinson, indicated that the defendant was asked to leave the property. Officers spoke to the defendant, advised her security did not want her inside the hotel, and if she returned, she would be arrested for criminal trespass. She left, the officers left. An hour later, officers were called back to the hotel because the defendant had returned. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from 140 Pine Street Northeast. That's both the Savannah Suites and the Inn Suites. No weapons, drugs, or alcohol.
All right, I'm inclined to grant that SOB through the jail with a stay away, Ms. Kim. Is
Yes.
there anything you'd like to add to the record or any objection you'd like to launch?
no, Your Honor.
All right, defendant will receive a $5,000 SOB through the jail. She must absolutely stay away from the location on 140 Pine Street and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition of that SOB through the jail. Is there anything additional? All right, best of luck to you. That concludes your case. And with the waiver, I believe ACDC can be excused.
Position 7, Mr. Grant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Grant, your case is 23 CR 006837B. You're charged with simple battery family violence. Do you understand your rights?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Mr. Howard.
This is 10th arrest. Last arrest was 2021 probation out of Clayton County. Got an open possession of amphetamine, financial transaction card theft, possession of marijuana, suspended license. That's 23 SC 190298. On probation in Clayton County for ag assault. On probation in DeKalb for identity theft fraud. On probation out of Troup County for DUI of drugs and possession of a Schedule 1 controlled substance. That's it.
All right, thank you, Ms. Dunlap.
Thank you, Your Honor. So officers responded to a domestic call at 3960 Sheenfield Lane. The victim, Miss Kyra Jacobs, and the defendant were having a verbal argument. Defendant then placed both of his hands around her neck and pushed her head into the wall. He left a hole in the wall where he pushed her head into. There was a witness, a Mrs. McNinter, I believe. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. She observed the defendant pushing the victim's head into the wall. The victim has indicated to the victim advocate that she is afraid of the defendant. It's not the first time they have had domestic disputes. The state is asking for a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from 3960 Sheenfield Lane, no further contact with Kyra Jacobs, Family Violence Intervention Program, and no drugs, alcohols, or weapons. And I believe we can sound for the victim she was on.
All right, I'm sounding for Ms. Jacobs at this time. Ms. Jacobs, if you're present and wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. All right, seeing none, Ms. Abden.
Hello, yes, victim is here.
All right, you need to turn on your camera, raise your right hand.
Turn your camera on. Hold on, I gotta go to my settings. I wasn't planning on, she said everything that needed to be said.
Okay, if you don't wish to add anything, you're not required to make a statement.
What am I adding? What do you want me to add?
No.
She said that already. She said that.
Okay, no coaching. You're allowed to make your own statement. Whoever that is speaking with you, that's highly inappropriate, all right? No one can direct your statements, okay? All right, Ms. Abden, we're gonna proceed. We've heard that Ms. Jacobs has indicated that everything has already been said.
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 25 years old. He's lived in Georgia his whole life. His whole family lives here. He's very strong ties to the community.
Okay, Ms. Jacobs, do you wish to make a statement? I hear someone coaching you. That is not permitted. You are the alleged
lady
victim.
said everything that I need to say. I don't want him around. Fear for my life. Period. That's
Okay,
everything that needs to be said.
okay. All right, but if you want to say that, I do have to put you under. Oh, raise your right hand. Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, I swear.
All right. And basically, you don't wish to make a statement, but you want me to know that you do not want to have contact with him, correct?
Correct.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks.
Ms. I appreciate you making that statement and coming to court today. Ms. Abden, please continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I stated, he has strong ties to the community. He graduated from high school, did some college, studied engineering, and he does plan to return to school. He recently lost his job at DHL. He does have a side job where he does stocks, but his indigency is a concern. He does not have an income at this time. And without going too much into the facts, Your Honor, it's my understanding that my client was defending himself. He was not the first aggressor, and this was a Halloween party. Everybody was under the influence, and this was a misunderstanding, and that the parties have not had any prior instances of violence. They also do not reside together, and also he has a hold, so he will be transferred to another county after this. And so I'm requesting a signature bond, Your Honor, and he does not have any objections to the stay away or the no further contact. And they do have a 3-month-old that does live with the complaining witness, so a third-party transfer, if that would be possible.
All right. Defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim. Stay away from that incident location. They can coordinate transfer of a child through the third party. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing else. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Best of luck to you, sir. That concludes your case. Who do we have next?
Position 9, Hosan.
All right, good afternoon. Your case is 23 CR 006836G. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence with the offense date of October the 31st. You understand, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, Mr. Howard.
I didn't see anything. State, you see something?
We'll go to Ms. Dunlap. Ms. Dunlap, if you give us the history and your recommendation.
No history. This is his first arrest.
Okay, thank you.
The officers responded to a domestic call at 1950 Rock Mill Road. They made contact with the victim, Ms. Pareem Praveen Rakshana. She is 4 months pregnant. The argument began with the defendant saying he didn't want to be a part of her life or their unborn child's life, and he was unhappy because he didn't like the way she was packing their belongings. They've been living in an extended stay. The defendant became enraged and hit her with an open and closed fist to her face. He causes a small abrasion with swelling and redness to the front left portion of her forehead and a small mark on her upper part of her lip. The state is asking for a signature bond through pretrial, no further contact with the victim, family violence intervention program, no guns, drugs, or alcohol, and the victim is on weekend sound for her.
All right, and I'm sorry, I need the name of the victim again.
Parveen Rakshana. I apologize if I'm mispronouncing
All
that.
right, is Miss Rakshana? I'm sorry, we may be pronouncing it incorrectly. If you're present, I see someone with that name. If you wish to make a statement, this is your opportunity to do so. I need you to turn on your camera, raise your right hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear and affirm the testimony you give today will be the truth to the best of your knowledge under the penalty of perjury?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I'm not sentencing the defendant today, so if you disagree with the facts Ms. Dunlap had set forward, that's not what's of critical importance to me. What I'm most concerned with is your desires for contact or any fear you have for your safety. In light of those instructions, what would you like to tell me at this time?
Ma'am, actually, it is just happened. Like, I told the police when they came, like, this argument was starting with a little thing and it goes far. Typically it was a couple argument. After sometimes the true thing is after sometimes we normally push each other, but it's not that big. Like he was trying to push me, but when I was close to him, he was trying to like a little bit away from him, and after that the hand goes on my face, but it was not literally. When I was pulled down, I realized it was not literally intentional. But the thing is, I was so nervous in the whole situation. I was nervous and I called police. But I swear I didn't feel any afraid or to him. And my unborn child, it was just not like that. We was arguing in the arguing point. Is like argue. He loves his girls too much, and he's so excited with the child. It's not his I know it's not it's only like sometimes when you argue with your husband or wife, sometimes it's happen. But actually I don't have any objection. I don't have any afraid to him. I just want him back because I'm in Georgia by myself and there is nobody to take care of me, and only loving person is my husband. So actually I don't have any objection at all. I want him with me, please. So I called when the police was arresting him. I told them too many times, like, sir, please, it was not that big issue. I just afraid. I called. He didn't like intentionally, but they didn't listen. They said, go when you call the police, the prosecutor have to be done, and you can tell whatever you want to in court. I requested them to not to arrest because it was not that big issue. So I want to take all of my charge, and I really sorry for that.
Okay, understood. I appreciate you coming to court and making that statement, okay? Ms. Abden, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. As you've heard, my client and the complaining witness are, they moved here from Bangladesh a little bit ago. You did not hear that. But they do not have, aside from each other, they don't have anybody else here in Georgia. The complaining witness has some family in Florida, but that is all. They're currently looking for a place to live. They were temporarily living in a hotel. That is the incident location. He is gainfully employed, Your Honor. He does not qualify for public defender services after today. He's an IT developer. He has a computer science bachelor's degree. He's already missed 2 days of work, Your Honor, and he's concerned that he will lose his job. That is their only means of income at this time. And so, as you've heard from the complaining witness, this was a misunderstanding. She is not afraid of him. He's actually the only person that she has here. And so I am requesting no further violent contact. There was not substantial injury here, or any injury that they could see at all. And she's not afraid of him. And so I'm requesting a signature bond that be through the jail, and that they have no further violent contact and be able to continue living together.
All right, defendant will receive a $6,000 SOB through the jail. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim. Additionally, he's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Nothing else. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. Who do we have next?
Position 8, handbrake.
All right, good afternoon, Mr. Hambrick. Your case is 23 CR 006822G. In this case, you're charged with battery family violence. Do you understand your right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Howard.
15 total. Last arrest was 2021 probation. You got an open simple battery family violence. 21 CR 007-424G. I'll stop there.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure Ms. Baker will illuminate us if anything additional is required. Ms. Baker, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. The victim in this case is Shakayla Lightfoot. Her first name is spelled Shakayla, Lightfoot, common spelling. She lives at 3011 Kentucky Court, apartment 3. That's in East Point. She reported to the police that she was arguing with the defendant after she refused to go home with him. So it looks like they live at separate addresses. He struck her in the face with a closed fist. The officer put in his report that he noticed visible swelling, and the parties do have a child together. The state's requesting that he sign his own bond through pretrial, that he stay away from her address, 3011 Kentucky Court, apartment 3 in East Point. No further contact with Shakayla Lightfoot, that a third party intermediary be involved in any child visitation, family violence intervention, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm sounding at this time for Ms. Lightfoot. Ms. Lightfoot, if you're present, this is your opportunity to speak. I don't see anyone with that name. So, Ms. Abden, please proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Obviously no objection to the signature bond, and we would object to the Family Violence Intervention Program. Also, for the record, it's my understanding that the individual, Ms. Lightfoot, provided a false name to the police, according to my client. Her real name is Arkenia O'Neill, date of birth October 3rd, 1991. I was unable to find any cases with the spelling I was given, but it's my understanding that there was a felony case where he was the victim and she was not supposed to have any contact with him. So I just want to put that on the record. They do not have any children together. They do not reside together. And so my client firmly denies these allegations. He is 50 years old, has strong ties to the community, born in Georgia, has lived here his whole life. He has his GED and some college as well. He has 12 grandchildren. He's very involved in his grandchildren's lives. He picks them up from school, spends time with them. He's also gainfully employed. He works at PSSI Sanitation, where he's been working for the past year. I also am not sure if this is a Riverside issue. It might be. He told me that he's been at the East Point jail since the 29th. And so I just wanted to state that for the record. And so requesting a signature bond through the jail, and he would not object to a no further contact or stay away.
Let's check that to see if there's Riverside. I have that he's been booked in 2 days on these particular charges. Are we able to check that?
So I see on my end that he was booked on the 31st, but he came over from East Point and there was no other warrant other than this one at East Point.
Okay. Can we double check that? I understand it's a bind over case, but I want to make sure he was bound over on this charge. Perhaps Mr. Walker or even Ms. Bridgewater, if you could take a look
What
for me.
position is this, Your Honor?
Position 8, I want to make sure there's no Riverside issue. I have that it was booked in 2 days, but Miss Abden indicates
Well,
that
even if he was booked in on the 29th, that today will be the third day because the
28th,
29th to the
28th.
third. Oh, I thought you said the 29th.
No, 28th. I thought that was 28th. Is what was said.
Yeah.
So that would put us. I just want to make sure. Let's all take a quick
Yeah, I
look.
just wanted to state it for the record. It's not, I'm not, I can't tell on my end, but I just wanted to point it out because he did tell me that.
And Miss Champion or Miss Bridgewater, if you could look as well.
Judge, were you checking to see the date he was booked in?
On this charge, yes.
It says he was booked in 10/31st, 2020,
Okay.
yesterday.
That's
Oh,
all
yesterday.
I have.
Do we
Okay.
know when he was booked in at East Point though? Because that's what he was arrested on.
I can't see it.
It's
Well, I
okay.
see that he has another. Are we sure that's what he was arrested
That's
on?
what we're trying
Yeah.
to, right. That's
I
what I
see
was,
that he has a parole hold with no bond. So honestly, I don't know why he was at East Point. It could be a multitude of reasons.
okay,
I
understood.
believe
I
the
just want to make
warrant-
sure he wasn't picked up for this. All right, defendant, I am actually not going to give defendant a signature bond. I understand that was recommended. However, I am not bound by the recommendations given to me. Defendant is going to receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with Miss Lightfoot, stay away from that incident location, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
Yes, ma'am, excuse me.
No, the best thing for you to do, sir, is to speak to Miss Abden, okay?
Yeah, I can call you after court. You're gonna be, we can speak about this after.
And your case
Judge has
is
made
gonna
her
be-
ruling.
And your case is reset to November the 14th. It can be revisited at that time. All right. Best of luck to you, sir. Is that all the cases that we have without breakouts? Oh, no, we also have position 1.
6, Mr. Gibson, come on, Mr. Gibson.
All right, Mr. Gibson, I know you're waiting to sit down on your case.
Have a seat.
Your case is 23 CR 006821C. You're charged with battery family violence. You understand your rights?
Yeah.
Howard?
This is 9th arrest. Last was 2017 robbery out of Pennsylvania conviction. 2014 probation. 2013 battery DV conviction. 2011 probation and 2010 shoplifting conviction.
All
That's
right, understood. Thank you. All right, Ms. Baker, please proceed.
Thank you, Judge. This incident occurred yesterday at 2524 Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, apartment 5303. It involves 3 parties. One is Mr. Gibson. The other is his former girlfriend. Her name is Danielle Mann. She was arrested along with Mr. Gibson. There was a roommate involved, and her name is Brittany Jackson. The dispute was over the payment of rent or Ms. Jackson's failure to pay her portion of the rent at that location. Ms. Mann told the police that Mr. Gibson pulled her hair and hit her in the face with a gun. She said that they have a child together. The officer did note that she had a laceration on her lip and a bruise on her chin. However, her roommate told the police that it was Ms. Mann who attacked the roommate. And the officer pulled the video from the location and confirmed that Ms. Mann did attack the roommate, and the roommate also had visible injuries, but I guess declined treatment. So Mr. Gibson and Ms. Mann were both arrested and taken to Grady for treatment. The state's requesting a surety bond that the defendant stay away from this location, which again is 2524 MLK Jr. Drive, apartment 5303. No further contact with Ms. Mann. Third-party involvement with any visitation with the child, family violence intervention, and no drugs, alcohol, or any weapons. Thank you.
All right, so Ms. Mann would not be present because she was a dual arrest, correct?
I would assume that yes, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Abden?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 32. He was born in Georgia, has lived here his whole life. He has all his family lives here, so he does have strong ties to the community. He has 2 children. They are 8 and 11 years old. He is responsible financially and both, to pick them up and to take care of them for those children. It is my understanding, Your Honor, that he does not object to the stay away. He has somewhere else to stay if that is required, and he would not object to a no further contact. He also tells me that there have been no prior instances of violence. My client was just trying to break up the fight between Brittany and Danielle, Your Honor. Brittany did try to call the police when Danielle Mann attacked her. She couldn't get through due to call volume, and I guess Danielle then called thereafter. I do understand he does have a criminal history for the 2017 case. He did serve his time. He was released October 2019, and he has not gotten in trouble since then, Your Honor. He does not have a likelihood of reoffending, and he's not currently working, and he's actively looking for work, and so his indigency is a concern. He would not be able to afford any bond today, and so I am requesting a signature bond, and as I've stated, a stay away and a no further contact. We would not object to that either.
Defendant will receive a $1,500 surety bond. He's to have no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons as a condition. Is there anything additional?
No, that is all. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, best of luck to you, sir. I believe the rest are breakout cases.
That is
So-
correct, Judge.
All right, so can we please go into a breakout, please? It'll need to be all members of the solicitor's office, Miss Baker, Miss SESG Denise, Mr. Walker. Then we'll need Miss Abden and Miss Kim.
Can we also have the SG victim advocate, please?
All right.
Hello. Hello.
The person with Sheena's iPad. Is that Mr. Ward's father?
Yes.
I'm
Yes, I
about to
am.
put you in the breakout room with the judge. You're gonna have to accept the breakout room, okay?
Okay.
All right, we are first going to take up position 1, if that's possible. Is this position 1 sitting at courtroom 2?
It's a waiver, Your Honor.
16.
Oh,
Mr.
position
Ward.
1 is a waiver. Okay.
This is Jack, but you could match it.
Okay. So position 15, Mr. Smith, 23 CR 0068829Y.
No, I'm sorry, this is, no, Judge, this is position 16, Mr.
Oh,
Ward.
16. We did 15.
Y'all get a lot of teeth.
Okay, I'm sorry. Long day. Mr. Ward, your case is 23 CR 0068835A. You're charged with battery, family violence, and possession of marijuana. Do you understand your rights today?
Yes.
All right, Ms. Howard, can you want to put, I know he has a lot of history, but if you would just put maybe the most recent position 16.
I only got 4 adult arrests.
Okay, well, give us those.
Last arrest was in August for trespass. That's open in state court. 23 CR 004-741A. Possession of marijuana with intent, possession of drug-related objects. It's 23 SC 190-164. And they got a 2019 ag assault first offender. That's all I got.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Officers were called to 1988 Lathrop Street, Southeast, in regards to an armed fight in progress. They spoke with the defendant's father, Mr. Maddox, who said he had just came back from buying them something to eat. Defendant was rambling about how he wasn't going to keep treating him like this. Defendant stood behind Mr. Maddox with a closed fist and punched him, causing a busted blood vessel to his eye on the side of his face. Mr. Maddox turned to leave the house. Defendant was reaching in his pocket, pulled a firearm out. Once Mr. Maddox came back in the house because he forgot his keys, the defendant pulled out a firearm and stated that he will do it for real this time. The state is looking for a $10,000 surety bond, a stay away, I guess, from 1988 Lathrop Street, Southeast. No further violent contact with the victim's father, Mr. Maddox, and no drugs, alcohols, or weapons.
Also an AGT, Your Honor.
And evaluations as discussed in breakout. All right, Ms. Kim?
Yes, Your Honor. My client is 20 years young and he is not employed as of now. So I don't think he has any means to pay for a bond. So $10,000 is way too much. Your Honor, he has completed up to 11th grade and he is trying to get GED as of now. Your Honor, we would like to request for the lowest possible bond. $1,000 coupon is still no bond to him as of now. So since it is only his father and mother who can bond him out and who are not willing to, so he's not going to be able to have anybody who bails him out. So we request for maximum $1,000 coupon. Thanks.
All right, defendant's going to receive a $2,500 surety bond. He's to have no further violent contact with the alleged victim and stay away from the wherever the victim resides, however, including that address that was listed. He's to undergo the evaluations we discussed in the breakout room, have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons whatsoever. As a condition, he will be reset to a calendar on November 16th. Is there anything additional?
Yeah, you want to break down that judge amount?
I'm sorry.
Yes.
2,000 for count 1 and 500 for the possession that I have.
Okay.
I just want to clarify that it was BHET, Your Honor.
No, I believe at this time we had requested, I believe MH, was that not what we had agreed upon, Ms. Kim?
Okay. Thanks, Your Honor.
All right. All right, best of luck to you, Mr. Ward. If you have a question, the best thing for you to do is to give your attorney a call and someone will come out to speak with you, okay? Anything you say can be used against you and the state is listening. Do you have a question just about the bond?
My charges. Why was I charged with family violence?
Okay.
Just give me a call. I'll
Yeah,
be happy to
the,
explain to you.
the explanation may result in other questions that where you incriminate yourself, okay? Someone will give you a call and explain it to you further, okay?
I shouldn't even have the charge. We
All
don't
right.
together. I stay alone.
Okay, I don't want you to say something that's gonna get used against you, okay? Let your attorney give you a call, Mr. Ward. We've decided your case.
How? Come on.
Your
All
Honor,
right.
that case, was there no further contact?
I did no further violent contact
Okay,
as
thank you.
recommended by the state.
Thank you.
All right. Are the remainder waived?
Judge, for my quick announcements for position one, it was a reset. I believe it was an MH reset.
Okay, I have waiver of appearance. That's not correct?
Yes,
Ms. Hampton?
Derek Howard went and spoke with him.
Yeah, it's a waiver, so we're gonna get him on the SAP calendar.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry, what position is that?
One.
Position one.
Okay, I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about Marcus.
No.
I'm sorry.
Position one is waived. Position four, is that waiver as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And position 17 is a waiver?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, courtroom 2 can be excused. Take care. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. I still have to list bond amounts anyways. Thank you.
Oh, go ahead.
What about Monique Jones? I think she was like 12 or something.
Well, that one I'm gonna announce.
Okay.
That was a breakout one. She's
Yeah.
gonna receive $1,000. What did we decide? $1,000 surety bond, and she's gonna undergo a BH.
Okay, gotcha.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
And Your Honor, that reset, sorry, to SAP or a different calendar?
For Ms. Jones?
Yes.
Ms. Jones is not going to a different calendar.
Okay, thank you.
All right. As it pertains to position one, the waive case, we'll take that one up now. 23 CR. I'm sorry, were there other announcements at courtroom 2? Did I cut you off?
No, that's it. We're completed here, Judge.
All right, take care. Have a good afternoon.
Thank
We'll
you.
now take up waive case 23 CR 006834F, in which defendant is charged with criminal trespass and terroristic threats. Mr. Howard, can I please three?
13 total. Last was 2022 obstruction. Simple battery on correction officer or police. 2022 terroristic threats, interference with emergency personnel conviction. 2016-18 probation. 2011 ag battery, ag assault, burglary conviction. That's it.
All right, thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Your Honor, law enforcement was dispatched to 795 Pollard Boulevard Southwest. That looks like it's Comfort Inn and Suites. Regarding criminal trespass, they spoke to the manager on the property. It looks like a Pamela Basong and her co-worker, who stated the defendant had made an entry through the faulty door, had been staying in the hotel room after had been recently trespassing from the location. That was case 232-990-514. The defendant walked downstairs and asked if he could get a key for his room, to which Ms. Basong responded that he wasn't supposed to be there. He didn't pay for a key. He then told Ms. Basong and another employee that he was going to kill both of them. He returned to the room he was staying in and shortly after came back downstairs and asked for another key. Ms. Basong stated she gave the defendant the key because she was afraid of what he might do. He snatched away, sat in the lobby, lit a cigarette. When officers arrived on the scene, he had taken off his shirt in the lobby and appeared combative, according to Ms. Basong. They went to the room, they knocked and he was there and he didn't resist. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond, a stay away from that address, the Comfort Inn and Suites, 795 Pollard Boulevard, no further contact with Pamela Basong, mental health evaluation, and no drugs, alcohols, or weapons.
All right. Is Ms. Basong present? All right, hearing none. Ms. Abden, any objection to $1,000 surety bond with the stay away conditions? Do you wish? I think you're sounding yes, but you have chatting us is not sufficient. If you wish to make a statement, you need to turn on your camera, raise your right hand. You're not required to. All right, thank you. Ms. Abden?
Sorry, Your Honor, you were asking me if I would object to a
$1,000 surety bond, 500 each count, with the requirements of no contact with the alleged victim, stay away from the incident location, undergo a BH, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right. Based upon the information before me, defendant will receive $1,000 surety bond, 500 each count. Defendant must stay away from that location. Absolutely have no contact with the alleged victim, whether through phone, text, email, no contact whatsoever. Undergo evaluations as discussed, and have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons. Anything additional as it pertains to position one?
No, Your Honor, just to confirm it's a BH, correct?
Yes, correct.
Oh, thank you.
All right, position 4 will now take up Michael Chanel. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Yes, courtroom 2 is gone. Case 23 CR 006828G. Defendant is charged with simple assault and 2 counts of obstruction. 1 additional charge I will not sound. Mr. Howard, can I have the history, please?
12 total. Last arrest was October 1st out of Columbus. Simple assault, disorderly conduct. Got an open family violence offense out of Alabama. Open bail jumping, flight to avoid, attempting to evade, and another open bail jumping out of Alabama, as well as theft. You want more?
No, that's good. Thank you. All right, Ms. Baker?
Thank you, Judge. This incident occurred yesterday. The victims are police officers in MARTA. The defendant was sleeping on the concrete at a MARTA station, was asked to leave. He picked up an object and attempted to throw it at the officer. He was cursing and spat at one of the officers. They attempted to arrest him and he ran away. At some point, he entered the street and displayed his buttocks towards the officer, and eventually they were able to take him into custody. The obstruction is for running away. Thank you.
All right, no recommendation as to surety or signature?
Sorry, it's a sign his own bond with the condition that he stay away from MARTA premises and property. 48 hours of anger management, no drugs, weapons, or alcohol. Thank you.
All right, Ms. Abden.
Thank you, Your Honor. This is one that we discussed in the breakout. We have no objection to a surety at this time, one that is set, and that he be reset to SAP. A social worker went to go see him today, and they are in the process of setting up treatment. And he would not object to stay away and no further contact if that's necessary.
All right, we won't, do we have the names of the officers? I'm not sure that's necessary in light of this. Defendant will receive a $2,000 surety bond, 500 on each count. He's to comply with all active suspensions, that require him to stay away from MARTA. He's to have no drugs, alcohol, or weapons, and he's to undergo a BHET. Is there anything additional?
Nothing from defense. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. We will now take up position 17. I believe that's Mr. Watt. Mr. Watt is charged in 23 CR 006809J with criminal trespass. Mr. Howard, will you put his history into the record?
Uh, 22 total. Last arrest was in September, FTA out of Clayton County. It's still showing an open enter and auto from 2013 in Fulton and shoplifting. He got an open PI charge in Clayton. He does have a current probation hold, I think. 2022 shoplifting, 2021 disorderly conduct, 2021 PI charge, 2015 giving false name conviction, and an open bench warrant.
Okay. Thank you. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you. So officers responded to a call regarding a criminal trespass. They spoke to the homeowner and Mr. Colin Wilson, who stated he was awoken by his wife and saw the defendant sleeping on the steps to their home. They asked the defendant to leave and thought he had gone, but later Mr. Wilson went outside and heard snoring coming from his crawl space. Mr. Wilson stated the crawl space doesn't lock and does have access to his home, but the home door was locked. The officers approached and saw the defendant snoring inside. They asked him to exit. He indicated that he had drank a 6-pack of beer. His mom used to live around the residence. He didn't know where he was. Officers smelled alcohol on the defendant. The state is looking for a signature bond through the jail, a stay away from the home of Colin Wilson of 1055 Rebel Forest Drive Southeast. No guns, drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And it would look like a drug and alcohol course.
All right, Ms. Kim, in light of the information before me, I'm inclined to grant an SOB through the jail, but require a BH prior to release. Any objections?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, defendant will receive a $6,000 SOB through the jail. Defendant is to have no contact whatsoever with the homeowners. I forget the name. Stay away from the address on Rebel Forest Drive. Have no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and undergo a BHET. Is there anything additional, Ms. Dunlap or Ms. Kim?
No, nothing further.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I believe we've concluded and completed the entire calendar. Ms. Bridgewater, will you review it for me, please?
I have a couple of notations here. If I can go back before I start to position 12. I just want to make sure I have this complete. Okay, I have it, no problem. And let me make sure I have 16. We're good to go. Okay. Once again, the reset date for the SAP calendar is November the 14th. Position number 1 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $1,000 good bond. Position 2, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. Position 3, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial. 4 is going to the SAP calendar with a total $2,000 good bond. 5, reset further notice with a total $4,000 SOB through the jail. 6 is going to the SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. 7, reset to the SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 8, SAP calendar with a $1,500 good bond. 9, reset further notice with a $6,000 SOB through the jail. 10, SAP calendar with a $5,000 good bond. 11, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 12, SAP calendar with a $1,000 good bond. 13, SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. 14, reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through the jail. 15, reset further notice with a $3,000 SOB through pretrial per judge. 16, SAP calendar with a total $2,500 good bond. 17, reset further notice with a $6,000 SOB through the jail. 18, reset further notice with a total $5,000 SOB through the jail. And for the add-on calendar, it's being reset further notice with a $5,000 SOB through pretrial. Are there any questions, comments, or otherwise?
All right, hearing none, we'll be in recess into tomorrow's SCA calendar. Take care, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Bye.
Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.